NewsNation national security contributor and former CIA officer and FBI agent Tracy Walder. Tracy worked in the CIA Counterterrorism Center before, on, and after 9/11. Tracy, good morning to you. I wanted to have you on because you talk about this day in your book, The Unexpected Spy, how it started like any other day for you, headed into work. You'd listen to your Sting CD in the car, pulling up to the lot early that morning, and a couple hours later, that secure phone rang on your desk.
Thank you for having me, Marky. I don't know that I've ever had the opportunity to actually talk about that day because there's so many emotions that really go behind it. And you're right. It started like really any other day. I was in the Counterterrorism Center reading through the information that had sort of come in overnight. And I think a thing people don't realize is that we can't bring our cell phones into work. We also don't have access to open internet. We have to go someplace within the building to do that. And so I actually didn't know that the first plane had hit the World Trade Center until someone called me in an outbuilding and told me to turn on the TV. I didn't initially think with the first plane hitting that it was terrorism, but when I turned on the TV and I saw the second plane hit, I knew that it was Al-Qaeda and I knew we were under attack.
Yeah, and you knew we were in trouble. You had been tracking Osama bin Laden before the attacks even took place on this morning. Had he or Al-Qaeda been leaving clues or breadcrumbs along the way leading up to that day that indicated to you that an attack like this was about to take place?
You know, that's an interesting question. And what's hard is that 9/11 for me is associated with a lot of guilt, you know, that we should have been able to stop it. But when you look back, you know, terrorists don't just, I guess, pick up the phone and talk about what they're going to do. They speak in code. And I think we had put some pieces together that chatter was increasing, but they didn't tell us what they were going to do, when they were going to do it, and how they were going to attack. And so really, we can only just sort of game plan, I guess, at that point. We knew things were increasing, but I don't think we fully understood what they were going to do.
Yeah, and I know that you also talk about you were in the CIA's Counterterrorism Center the night that American troops located bin Laden in the mountains of Afghanistan. That was December of 2001, but they lost track of him. What then went into the years-long process of tracking and ultimately hunting him down? And what was that like for you, not just professionally, but personally and psychologically to follow that hunt?
Well, and it's interesting. I think in the moment, you don't really have time to reflect on how you're feeling about that. Obviously, later, I do feel a sense of responsibility and guilt. But I think with bin Laden, that night that we lost him was really a turning point for me. We lost him over the mountains of Tora Bora, and that is when we believe he kind of made his way into Pakistan. And that was really tough because I think in that moment, I thought maybe I could help assuage the feelings of how some of the victims' families felt. About 9/11 by capturing him, and I couldn't at that point. And so that's when we sort of started looking at bin Laden and some of his franchisees and how to get to them and then ultimately to him.
And just a few seconds left, Tracy, I know you just heard Joe Khalil's report and you heard Ambassador John Bolton say another 9/11 could be possible. Are we any safer today than we were on this morning 22 years ago?
Yes and no. I think we're safer in that we have the spirit of creativity in terms of understanding how these folks are going to commit these attacks. We're not just looking at conventional warfare anymore, and we have a better understanding of that. However, I don't think we fully understand that some of the nexus of Al-Qaeda has moved to sub-Saharan Africa, and we're not focusing enough on that.
All right. Gosh, Tracy Walder, thank you for your firsthand account this morning. Always good to see you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.